Women's World Cup. US isn't underestimating Spain's rise in soccer. Reims, France. The rest of the world is catching up to the US women's soccer national team. That progress hasn't shown up on the scoreboard yet, where the Americans have lost one game in the last 23 months. But with domestic league, the quality of every team, top to bottom, continues to get better, said US forward Megan Rapinoe. All these teams that the US faces one of those teams Monday when it meets Spain in a round of 16 game in Reims, where the Americans opened their World Cup with a 13-0 victory over Thailand. The winner will play. Few teams have improved more than Spain since the last World Championship. Playing in the tournament, since then, the women's game has grown tremendously. Barcelona, there's less distance between the top teams, midfielder Alexia Putellas said in Spanish. When we play them, US coach Jill Ellis says Spain's experience is reflected in a major expansion of women's soccer throughout Europe. Of the 9 European, half of those teams are already in the quarterfinals. There are a lot of programs, a lot of teams now that have the backing of federations, said Ellis, who will coach her 124th game with the national team Monday, tying April Heinrich's US record. To have a profession, it's a natural progression in terms of the development in these countries. Because they eat, Spain wasn't on the US radar until January, when the teams played for the first time, with Chrisen Press goal in the 54th minute, the difference on a cold, windy night in Alicante, Spain. The conditions it was critical that we played Spain, Ellis said. We don't have a but that game also gave Spain confidence heading into Monday's rematch. 16 of the 7 through the first round at the World Cup, only the US has had more time of possession or taken more shots than Spain, which finished second to Germany in its group. They're extremely technical. Really good on the ball, while Spain will be looking for rhythm after failing to score in its final 2 group play games. 2 of its 3 goals in the first game came on penalty kicks. The US is on a roll. The Americans' 8 in World Cup play. The US has pitched shutouts in 7 of its last 9 games. All those numbers put the pressure firmly on the backs of the top-ranked Americans. For Spain, the US not only must win, but do it convincingly. Given the rise of Europe, it may not be that way forever. It's a matter of time, Ellis said. Copyright 2019 Los Angeles Times. Visit the Los Angeles Times @ Distributed by Related slideshow. Best of the Women's World Cup provided by Iman.
Raindrop, drop top, top smoking, no cooking the hot pot. Fucking on your bitch, yeah, that. Looking up, open the park, pot.